Good morning. Welcome to today's Morning Moxie with Larisa. I wanted to help you stop giving away your power. One of the things that I've talked about in the past is how written communications have deteriorated, and I probably have another flare out every time I get a resume from some position I'm recruiting for, and I see that people just cannot string together a proper English sentence. It's become text in long form, is what sometimes it seems like, or emails. All the social media isms, if you will, have found their way into the messages. Although I know I've been guilty of the BTW or the LOL, or just recently, I know it today. I am HO in my humble opinion, and absolutely everyone I know uses a smiley face, right? But those really shouldn't be in professional communications, but that's a topic for another video. Today, I want to talk to you about verbal communications, right? Three things in talking with women or being around women in the office. These are three things that really come up. And this first one, I really have such a hard time not speaking up. But it's not always my place to offer that guidance. So I'm offering that guidance to you via video so that when you find yourself out and about, hopefully you'll be more aware. And that first thing that I want to bring up is not really making a statement. Sometimes I will be in a conversation with a woman and it seems like every sentence that she utters ends in a sentence, a question mark for some reason, and I don't understand why that is the case. A question is a question and a statement is a statement. Your voice should not go up at the end of a sentence unless you are asking a question. So please watch your voice inflections at the end of your sentence. Statements, question marks, questions, questions, question marks. One of the other things that I just wanted to mention, and it's not really a thing, it's just an observation. If you speak to voice coaches, for example, they will suggest that women should lower their voice. I'm saying an octave. I'm not a musician. I don't know my musical notes from one or the other, but I will say that if you're speaking in a little girly voice, it's very hard to be taken seriously. And sometimes that when you're in the office place, especially if you're in a meeting, maybe you want to be more aware of how your voice sounds and maybe just take it down a note or two. I'm saying take it down an octave. And I'm not a baritone, but I think you can tell the difference between voice speak up here and then the voice down here. This is a more tonal manner of speaking, and it sounds more serious, and it sounds like it has more place in the workplace. So food for thought. I mean, your voice is your voice, but if you feel that you are not being taken seriously when your communications with others, do what I do. Sometimes I will leave myself a recording when I want to remind myself to, I don't know, run an errand to pick up this or to drop off that. So I'll leave myself a voicemail. And most times I like my voice, depends. If I'm paying attention and I'm speaking deliberately, obviously it sounds better. So record your voice, play it back. Do you like the way it sounds? Does it sound professional? Does it sound authoritative, powerful? And if it doesn't, then that's something that you can work on. You can do it privately by leaving yourself a voicemail, or of course you can always take voice lessons, but that's a whole lot. I'm not suggesting that. And then the other thing that comes up is, let's just say you're in a meeting and everyone goes around the table and it's time to wrap up or for everyone to get buy-in for their position. I'm just suggesting that when you make your position, you own your position, right? You don't have to qualify it. It doesn't have to be, in my opinion, or I think that if, just the statement is the statement, let it stand on its own merits. My position is that we should project our revenues to be 50K for the first month, and then we can be on trajectory for that amount of growth each month, right? So whatever the position is, it doesn't have to be 50,000. I'm just saying, don't qualify it by saying I think or maybe or what if. How about the statement is the statement? This is your position. You know what you're doing. Just speak up. Just lean into it and own the position. You don't have to qualify it. And then this is not so much a voice issue. It is just, I'm suggesting that sometimes when you're communicating with people, you get the sense that they're not understanding or otherwise not listening. So, especially if you're speaking with non-native English speakers, sometimes when people are trying to be understood, they just get louder instead of just restating the comment in a different way. You know, most times it's not because the person didn't hear you, it's just because you need to restate it, which is not the point I was going to make. What I was going to make is that when you feel like you're not being listened to, lower your voice, because you don't have to shout to be heard. If you lower your voice, that makes people listen harder or listen more closely, and so that you have a better chance of being heard and understood when you lower your voice. And of course, speak clearly. That's always very helpful. So that was 3 tips and a bonus tip. Just I hope that these will be helpful for you in your workday when you're communicating with others. Written communication, always something to improve, but spoken communication, which is what we do most often, that is hugely, hugely important. So make sure your statements are statements and not questions. Take your voice down an octave, especially if you're in a group setting and you want to be taken seriously, and own your position. You don't have to qualify. That's today's Morning Moxie. I hope you found these tips helpful. I will see you on the next video. Ciao.